can't explain. Yeah, no. All that I know, I know, my God, I got something within me. Whoa, yeah.
Me go tell you about it.
Me know me got to. Me know me got to. Me know me got to. Me know me. Me know me. Me know me got to.
Jesus,
Me know me got to.
turn your head.
Me know me got to.
Have me the power of me.
Me know me got to. Me know me got to.
Got to have
Me know me got to. Yes, I know I got both. Me know me. Me know me. Me know me got something within me. Yeah, I'm something within me. Yeah, within me. Something within me. Whoa, yeah. Something within me. Somebody said it's peace. Somebody said it's joy. I got it within me. I know I got it within me. Yeah. Whoa.
Very, very good. That's talent, to be able to stand in the middle of a party and do that. CBD, aren't they good? Incidentally, if you're wondering about the blue cornflowers supplied to us by Amy for Amy Victoria Derby Day, and don't they look lovely? And let me tell you, I know the guys at Amy, and they absolutely love this day, sponsoring the Victoria Derby. Why wouldn't you? The greatest day. It's pretty hard to argue it's not on the Australian racing calendar. Don't forget our Star City competition while I have a chance to tell you. It'll be on again on Tuesday. We'll put the number up again and the details from Angela Bishop on Tuesday, and then you can phone all week. It's a terrific prize, so make sure you're watching us on Melbourne Cup Day. Well, we know you will, right around Australia. That's a walk-up start, isn't it, Peter Donegan?
It certainly is, Tim, and I'll tell you what, we have been so lucky with the weather today.
Have we ever? A few clouds coming over now, but it's still been quite good.
Well, fingers crossed for Tuesday. Hopefully we'll have a pretty good day. And don't forget, everyone, the Melbourne Cup preview tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. And Jen will be having a nice early night and going home, getting the beauty sleep, and hopefully the hair will come up tomorrow as well as it's come up today.
It's almost lasted the distance, hasn't it?
Just about. Now we're coming up to the last, the Yallambee Stud Stakes. 1 Zuccarino, 3 Monopolise, 6 Lord Luskin, 9 Touch of Force, and 19 Civil List out. So there are 5 scratchings, and we are left with a field of 14. Let's go through these runners as we look at the magnificent trophy for the Yallambee Stud Stakes. We'll be talking to Peter Woodard from Yallambee Stud very shortly. Monet's Cove, box seated at Caulfield, probably had it all his own way, Jen, but still was quite impressive at the end of the race. Finished it off nicely.
And you might remember at the beginning of that race, he actually stumbled out of the stalls as well. And it was a pretty good effort. And it was a nice ride there by Brian York as well. He partners him once again here today. A horse that does like a dry track, and the track's okay for him today. There's no excuses. He's there with a place chance.
Jim Marconi's had a pretty good spring so far, the trainer from down Mornington way. And Del Sol might cap it off for him because this horse has been going pretty well and chased home Monet's Cove at Caulfield.
I mentioned before that he is quite hard to follow, Del Sol, but he's one of those horses that can be up there on the pace, and he can battle on as well. When you think he's gone, he can still just be there, so he's certainly a trifecta horse in this race.
Sir Boom, number 5, is a weight for age winner. He's to be ridden by Mick Dittman, and his recent run's okay, probably in hotter company than this, but the big thing here, Jen, is the barrier.
Well, he was set a task 2 starts ago in the Toorak handicap at Caulfield there. He was 3 wide most of the way, and then I thought he was a bit disappointing at Moonee Valley, but he's a horse that is definitely capable of improving. He has won 4 here at Flemington.
Well, all the panel went for Kensington Palace earlier, and she was successful, and all the panel has gone for Confiscate here, one of Johnny Hawk's. Tell us the reasons why.
Well, he was 5 wide most of the way last start, and he really couldn't get in at any stage there. I thought he fought on very, very gamely on that occasion, and on that performance, he's a horse that definitely comes into this with a very good chance.
Interesting runner here is number 8, and that is Foramore, to be ridden by Darren Beedman. Its form in New Zealand looks very good. It was actually disqualified at one start there because that was, instead of protest, they disqualify them. But trained by Ron Quinton at Randwick, he's the query horse in the race.
Very interesting runner in the race. At his first start in New Zealand, he beat home Marble Horse and Cronus. So that form, if he lives up to that, he's definitely a chance in this race. And when he was disqualified, he did actually go past the post first. So he should really be unbeaten. Definitely one to keep an eye on the betting there.
Abra Magic was one that probably would have come into calculations, especially if the track had been rain affected, but of course it's been getting better as the day goes on. But I think they might think that he's got a sneaking chance in the race.
Yes, I think so. Got back a fair way on that occasion. Didn't have a great deal of luck there at Moonee Valley, so could have finished a little bit closer, and he's another horse that is capable of improving.
Jugulator finished 5 lengths away from Pengulu in the Toorak handicap at Caulfield. Prior to that, form was excellent.
Yes, he's going to need some luck though from barrier 18, isn't he?
Yeah.
I just wonder about his last run. I think if you can forget that, just just forgive him for that one bad run. And of course, it was in the Toorak, so it's a very difficult race for him. He's there with some chance.
Looks pretty well, as you can see there. And number 16, Bewilder, is one with a definite chance. Looked good in winning at Moonee Valley. Prior to that, a placing at Caulfield behind Miss Jugo. But again, the barrier's the thing here, Jen.
True. The fillies and mares race that was too at Moonee Valley. A little bit tougher here, but does drop quite a lot in weight. So that's significant. I've left her there with an each way chance.
All right, what about the summary for the last race? Can you get us out of trouble?
Well, I think Confiscate can win this. Number 7 from number 4, Del Sol, and 16, Bewilder.
Yes, and I'm confident about Confiscate. Dan Malicki, tell us what he's showing on the tape.
Fine, well, he's the favourite at 340, and I know we're going to get an update from Tim Gossage soon, and he's been very heavily backed on track. Monet's Cove, number 2 at $8, 13 for Saboom, 330 at the moment for the favourite, which is Confiscate, number 7, now 340, 670 for Foramore, number 8, and over the page, they range from around the $15 mark to 29, number 14 Expressage, and then Plushka and Romantic Ace over the page, which is not without some sort of a chance. Well, Confiscate, everybody's tipped it, literally, and they're backing it too, Tim.
Absolutely. Everyone's been talking about it since we walked on the course at 8 o'clock this morning. Confiscate, heavily backed, very short, opened up. They just stood back the punters, and then they came charging, and nothing else has shortened in the betting. Confiscate, a surprise runner is Foramore. It's also probably been the other horse, only one being tipped to beat Confiscate, but it is all Confiscate in the last.
Thank you. Thank you to Tim Gossage for that report in the betting ring. And there you see the reasons why barriers are so important here for the Yallambee Stud Stakes. Almost on a continuous turn after a very short run out of the gates here from the 1400 metre mark, and they're turning until the 450 metre mark. There are the tips. It's a consensus of opinion. Confiscate is the one for all of us here in the final event, which is the Yallambee Stud Stakes. And I'm happy to say that Peter Woodard from Yallambee Stud is with us, and it must be a great honour to be associated with the race on Derby Day, Pete.
It is, Pete. It's a great day's racing, as we all know, on Derby Day, and we're delighted to be associated with the Victoria Racing Club on a great day's racing.
It has been a terrific crowd, a great day's racing, but all we need from you is the winner of the last. Can you supply that for us?
Well, I look like I'm going to go with you guys and go with number 7. It's been a lucky number today, and yeah, I think number 7 will win this.
Well, if your money's on, the best of luck to you, and thanks to Yallambee Stud for their involvement in the day.
Thanks, Pete.
Peter Woodard from Yallambee Stud, and it is the Yallambee Stud Stakes coming up. Final event on the program. On their way to the gates, we'll be back with the lucky last in just a moment. On their way to the gates for the lucky last today, the Yallambee Stud Stakes, 1400 metres, so it starts way over on the far side of the track. And there is one of the runners there, always a chance, number 15, as they mill around behind the gates. And there is Bewilder, which we've spoken about. If you've just joined us, the main races today, the third race was won by Backslapper in an all-the-way performance, defeating Bart's Melbourne Cup Hope Grand Master, and Buzz-Off finished third. Kensington Palace really made herself the Oaks favourite when a 2-to-1 favourite. She won the Wakeful Stakes today. The Amy Victoria Derby was taken out by Second Coming. Brilliant all-the-way front-running performance ridden by Greg Childs. And then the Louis Vuitton McKinnon Stakes was a slashing Melbourne Cup trial by the New Zealander Ebony Grove, trained by Graham Rogerson. Let's see if the punters have been delving into the bookies' bags, hoping to get out on the last. Tim Gossage is the man on the spot.
They're relying on Confiscate. Still more money for the John Hawkes trained galloper. Confiscate, a clear-cut favourite. The biggest tip on course today, in fact, has been a late specking too for Monet's Cove.
Thank you to Tim Gossage for his reports right throughout the day. And, of course, Tim will be joining us on Tuesday to keep us up to date with all the big money as it's placed on the Foster's Melbourne Cup on Tuesday afternoon. A reminder, a big 10-race program. First at 10:30 on Melbourne Cup Day. So Dan Malicki and Gary Willits, don't forget to set your alarm clock.
Definitely, definitely, Peter. We're just laughing here. We're just watching Damien Oliver going round the barrier there with reading a race book. I don't know what he's studying. Must have got to take a quinella or something. No, he's mostly looking, you know, where everything's drawn and everything. But it's been very important today. If you can get on the inside, it's just such an advantage. You know, I thought Monet's Cove, he'll get up there well. There's one just number 16. They're just going to try and get that in. Bewilder. Very big horse too.
She won at Moonee Valley last Sunday.
Yes.
And is just in a little bit of a mood at the moment.
Yep.
But the track attendants, dressed out in the Amy shirts, which they'd appreciate, I'm sure, are going to win the battle. They usually do.
It's a couple of good runs, you know, when you go out to Louis Vuitton Stakes, Dan. I thought Marble Horse was quite a nice run, as well as the winner. Looking for Tuesday. The Pliska just going in there.
That's Romantic Ace on screen with Shane Dye. Well, I dare say that Ebony Grove would be into a clear second favourite behind Might and Power for the Melbourne Cup now on today's slashing performance. She reminded me in a way of Empire Rose when she won and blew away the Top Guns, because he never pulled the whip on it.
No, went the line good, and that's, you know, I also thought Marble Horse didn't have a lot of room. Here's a great shot looking out on these barriers.
And that's Jugulator in the middle, on the right Expressage, and Romantic Ace to the left. Abra Magic in the foreground in the yellow colours, and Sir Boom, which is about to link up. So track officially ended up as dead. I think they did a great job, the VRC, as far as the track itself was concerned, and the rating for the amount of rain that it took.
Just incredible, Dan.
Incredible, yeah.
And, you know, as soon as we walked on it, I went looking for you to come and have a look at it, because I just couldn't believe how well the track had come up. And with that nice breeze blowing when we got here, certainly made a big difference.
Certainly did, but by the same token, it was still the best place to be on the rails. Now they're set to go. The final race on Derby Day, 1997. Confiscate will run the favourite in the all cerise colours. And they're ready for the last. All clear given now. Gates crash back the racing. Foramore a little bit slow to begin. Crows Before Dawn, Dwelt and Romantic Ace back towards the tail early. Monet's Cove and Del Sol amongst the best couple to begin. Plushka goes forward, and likewise Expressage. They're wide, but trying to come across the face of the field. Sir Boom is up into about 5th placing early, 2 lengths away Jugulator, and then Confiscate over on the rails about midfield. A length further back to Always a Chance, and then the Grey Crows Before Dawn. Half a length to Respect Me, and then Abra Magic obliged to travel 3 deep, a length away Romantic Ace, and back towards the tail of the field now we had Foramore and also Bewilder. As they come inside the 800, Plushka just in front. Del Sol still has the inside running though, and Expressage is 3 deep. A length further back to Monet's Cove. Jugulator's got into a nice spot over on the rails now, and out there a little bit wide as they round the turn. So Boom is hard ridden. Confiscate's about 4 off the lead. Crows Before Dawn tracks up behind it on the fence, and then came Always a Chance. Respect Me further out. Romantic Ace, Bewilder, Abra Magic, and Foramore's last. At the 400, Del Sol the leader. Jugulator's getting a run through on the centre, and it goes up to hit the lead. Confiscate trying to follow it through, and also Crows Before Dawn is getting out. Then came Romantic Ace, and wide out Always a Chance. Jugulator the leader. Crows Before Dawn. Confiscate knuckling down with Always a Chance. Jugulator in front. Here's Confiscate though. Confiscate goes to Jugulator and Crows Before Dawn. Confiscate put his head in front, and he got up and won it. Confiscate got it. Confiscate first beat Crows Before Dawn and Jugulator. Close up was Romantic Ace, flashed home at the finish, and then Del Sol, Always a Chance, Bewilder. Plushka next in, and then came Abra Magic, Expressage. Foramore never in it. Monet's Cove weakened right out of it. Sir Boom pulling up towards the tail, and at the rear of the field with those horses was Respect Me.
Lovely ride, Dan. I thought he was in a little bit of trouble. You know, he had trouble getting a run there for a while. I thought Jugulator was a very good run. He got all the breaks, but Confiscate was just far too good for him in the finish.
Very patient ride there. Jugulator had got a lovely run, and Stephen King, I think, had done a great job to get it over from its barrier.
Incredible.
But the last 100 was the telling story for it, and the official placings are 7, 11 and 12. 7, 11, 12.
And here we have them on the screen now. Just going to roll it forward now. Jugulator gone to the front, and in the cerise colours there's Damien Oliver just getting through here. Not a lot of room, but once the horse gets into the daylight, by gee, it gets home well. Just a little bit too good for Jugulator. But as you said, Stephen had done a great job to get that horse over. You know, he drew very wide, and to get it over on the fence from 18 was a great ride.
And Romantic Ace was a little bit unlucky, trying to secure a run in the straight. It gets up to run 4th, that's number 18, and 5th in was number 15, Always a Chance.
And the grey horse, number 11, Crows Before Dawn, that was a very good run, because I think he just dwelt when the gates opened.
He did ever so slightly, and only got beaten a half a length. So there they go, that's the photo, probably only a length between the first 5 placings. And the official numbers, the ones that will be paid on, are 7, 11 and 12. And Damien Oliver riding the winner. The bookie's reeling a little bit because it was very heavily supported. Confiscate.
Here's a great run of it. And just see, straighten it up here is Damien. He's got no room to go here. Directly in front where you've got Del Sol on the fence. Jugulators in the white cap and white bridle right in front of him here. And at this stage, he doesn't look, there's Plisker outside, and he doesn't look like getting a run. There's no room yet. You can see a Graham behind here. That's Crosby Foot on. He's trying to get out also. Now, they just tighten up a little bit here, and Damien puts the whip away, and now he drives him through here. And now he sees that daylight, and now he's got the stick out now, and away he goes. And there's Crosby Foot on the grey. He's come out to follow him out. And Jugulator's the one on the fence. Stephen King riding very hard with the red hat. But as you can see, Compensate just goes away, and Crosby Foot on gets home very well.
He's got a great record at the distance, Confiscate. He's had 12 starts at 1400 and won 6 of them with a further 4 placings. So his record has been super at the trip. John Hawkes is having a good carnival. That's a double today for the trainer, John Hawkes. Likewise, Paul Perry. And Hawkes has got quite a team of horses in this week. So look for those very famous colours of the All Cerise, of which Damien Oliver
I think,
was able to pilot, and that was his second winner as well.
Yes.
So 7, 11, 12 on the last. The time was 1:24.1. 4th in number 18, and 15 was number 15. The winner was favourite, number 7, and expect $2.90 the win and $1.70 the place, $4.40 for second, and $4.20 for third. 7, 11 and 12 in the final event, so punters can go home on a happy and a smiling note. Tim, the winner was not just favourite, but it was very heavily supported favourite.
Okay, thank you, Dan. And it was a good win, too, from Confiscate. Peter and Jenny have joined me now in the studio. Well, the Derby first, an absolute bolter.
Well, the track was landing that way, wasn't it, Tim? He was up there. Greg Childs took the initiative from quite a wide barrier as well, and I thought he did a very good job in organising the pace there out in front, just dictating the terms on a track that really did lean 2 horses on the inside and up there.
Won it going away.
The thing I liked about the race, Tim, was that it was a genuine staying test. It wasn't as if he went to the front and pulled them up and stacked them up. He just kept on going at a nice even bat all the way through, and that was a really good staying performance, I thought.
And the favoured runners did very little.
Yeah, I think maybe Encounter might have been flattened by the run in the Cox Plate, Jen.
Yes, I think likewise Schubert too.
Yeah, and Spying, well, he didn't fire today, but there'll be other days for him.
I wonder if something went wrong with him, because he did seem to stop quite quickly over the last 400 metres.
Fairly big call of Paul Moroney not to include it in the Melbourne Cup.
Oh, I think it's sensible.
Yeah, I do too. I think he's a young horse, and next year, there's always next year.
All right, now, Ebony Grove, that was a slashing Melbourne Cup trial, wasn't it?
It sure was, and it defied the pattern in a way, although he did come along the inside. There you can see him in the green and the white colours. He's 3 back on the fence, and it was a very good ride here too, but being on the inside, of course, it's a better going, so he was able to get through there, and very nice trial for the Melbourne Cup.
This could be a good illustration too, Tim, that Falante there in the white colours running second, and Dane Ripper in the black cap running up to 4th on the outside, just didn't quite finish off their races as well as Ebony Grove did, and they ran in the Cox Plate last week. But yeah, this was a great Melbourne Cup trial. I thought Marble Halls was a pretty handy Melbourne Cup trial too, Jen. 3,200 metres I think might be a bit of a worry for him, but the good thing is he's a Flemington horse.
Yeah.
I think the Freedmans would definitely be happy with that run there.
Here he is poking up on the inside into 4th position, but all honours with the winner. I like Graham Rogerson's comment after the race where he said, gee, even the stipendiary stewards have been trying to give instructions for this horse, and none too subtle dig about what happened a few weeks ago.
Yeah, indeed. Let's find out what Mr. Gossage is up to in the betting ring. What's the mail there, Timothy?
Well, the mail is, Timothy, that we can confiscate those, because that was a very bad result. And if anyone's seen Tim Bailey, you can just call... No, you are here. Have you had a winning day?
What do you think? I've got the sunglasses on so nobody recognised the fact I know you. The weather for Melbourne Cup Day, all important, fine and 18 degrees. The tip, might and power. See you later.
Of which you have neither.
Heckle and Jekyll.
Yeah, the Bobsey twins. Tim Gossage and Tim Bailey. Sandra, much more demure. Sandra and Lynn are in the marquee. Hi, guys.
Well, much more demure.
I don't know about demure, actually.
I've noticed the Battle of the Heights. We're having a Battle of the Hats here, too.
That's quite right. And we've had a great day perusing the marquees and checking out some of the young designers. And it's been a fantastic day all round, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. We've met some wonderful people here in the marquee. And, of course, plenty more to meet in the week ahead. We've got some international stars coming up on Cup Day, including including David Chokachi from Baywatch and I should say Brooke Langton from Melrose. So we're looking forward to a great day on Cup Day, and we've had a wonderful day today. Of course, plenty more action and more fun to come throughout the week.
Yes, indeed, much of the same. Thank you, you two. Now, your racing preview tomorrow, Melbourne Cup preview.
Coming up at 11 o'clock. You'll have the Melbourne Cup winner, won't you?
Oh, well, I'll definitely try. I'll be doing a lot of form trying to work out who can win the Melbourne Cup. 18 degrees and fine, that sounds like it's going to be a good day.
Beautiful, doesn't it? In fact, perfect for racing. Just having the jocks weigh in here for the last. And there's Stephen King there. Yep.
Crowd today, Tim, 64,528, wow, which is unbelievable when you consider the weather over the past 24 hours leading up to the races today.
Well, Pete, I tell you, they came in late.
Yes.
Because I don't think there were that many at around, well, there was probably 45,000 around 1 o'clock, but then I went out at about 2:30 and they were everywhere.
Yeah, I spoke to a couple of people who came in sort of relatively early, and they said exactly the same thing. So I think they saw maybe on Network 10 that the clouds had cleared and off they came.
Well, we'll probably be able to, we'll just stay with these guys, give you correct weight before we go, which is a good idea. Yes, Jen?
There's one other race that we didn't talk about, of course, Kensington Palace is lining up for the Oaks next Thursday. Yes, great effort.
Absolutely. We have it.
Correct weights?
We'll try. I don't know whether we can get you dividends before we go today. We'll try and do that. There they are. Confiscate $2.90 and $1.70. Crows Before Dawn $4.40. Jugulator $4.20. And there's the other dividends on the bottom of the screen for race 9, the Allambie Stud Stakes. Now, we haven't got much time. Just quickly, the Melbourne Cup. Great trial by Ebony Grove, but there are so many variables. We've got Might and Power hasn't had a run. The 2 overseas horses. Initial thoughts quickly.
Ladies first.
Okay, yeah. Doremus, I think he's been going very well, and I think he's there with a good chance.
Okay, Pete.
Tim, I think the pattern's changed with Melbourne Cups over the years. The Melbourne Cup winner used to always run on the Saturday. I'm not sure that we saw him here today. If there is any rain at all, a little horse that won the Melbourne Cup 2 years ago is going to come right into it, Doremus. I think he'll run a bold race on Tuesday.
And has been plenty of money for Doremus in the last couple of days, hasn't there?
Yes, there has, and let's not forget Might and Power, of course. How can we?
You don't like Alpha's chances, either of you?
A little disappointed with his last effort.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And I've got to say, on that run, it just gives me a little worry.
Okay.
The one thing is, though, he's trained by Bart Cummings. Never write him off.
True.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Okay, now we've got an absolute feast of sport on the 10 Network. These guys with their Melbourne Cup preview tomorrow. The Tigers and the Magic tonight. Won't that be exciting? Game 3 live. You can see it in Melbourne live from 8:30, and the Network replay. As always, check your local guide for the time, but it will be right after sports tonight for that final game, and won't there be some emotion there? Emotion. There certainly will be. We've got RPM as well, but of course the main thing is to make sure you come and join us on Melbourne Cup Day next Tuesday. A lot of interesting things came out of today. It will be a great race. It always is, and our usual team of people will be there to join you, Pete and Jen and the whole bunch of us. So come and join us on Melbourne Cup Day. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you then. Goodbye, everybody.